Hello, my co-hosts. Hope you're all doing well. I'm your host, Tyranno Senpai, and welcome to today's review video. And I am joined today by my friend, Zach, or as you people may have known, as Scurvy Rat.
Hello there. I unfortunately don't go by that name too often, but for simplicity's sake, by all means throw that in.
He kind of made some appearances in the watch party where we're from the show we're actually here to talk about, and that is Hazbin Hotel. I know it's a bit of a shock for most of you people, because normally you come to my channels for dinosaur content, so this is a bit of a far cry, but I don't give a because it's my channel and I can do whatever the hell I want with it. Honestly, man, I've been like a fan of Vivzy Pop's creations like Hell of a Boss and Hazbin Hotel for years. Like, as soon as I started diving into it, I couldn't get out.
Yep, definitely been there myself. I'm actually a fairly new addition to the fan group. I think I first came across Hell of a Boss back in 2022, early 2022.
It was late 22 for me when I first started. That pilot, I did not have high expectations. And I'm not even talking about Hazbin Hotel. I'm talking about Hell of a Boss. That's where it started for me. Then I looked up Hazbin Hotel.
It went the same way for me because I had heard a friend talking about it, and from what I understood, which this is accurate, Hell of a Boss is a spin-off of Hazbin Hotel, so I started watching that, and I watched all the episodes, and I'm like, alright, where's the main show? There's gotta be more episodes than Hell of a Boss, and I was immediately disappointed.
But obviously, it grew from there. And that's
absolutely.
And that's why we're here now. We could go on and on about Hell of a Boss, but I think we'll save that for another time. Right now, it's all about Hazbin Hotel. So,
absolutely.
Before we do get started, is it true that the pilot is considered canon, or no?
So, I know you just said we're not going to talk about Hell of a, but I'm going to throw in this little tidbit. They just recently made the pilot of Hell of a Boss not canon, which is interesting. I haven't seen anything official regarding the Hazbin Hotel pilot, but from what I can tell, nothing is directly contradicted. The only real changes seem to be character designs, and there was that one flashback scene where Charlie and Vaggie had their pilot looks, more or less. So I've been treating it as though it's canon, because I haven't really seen any explicit reason not to.
Yeah, unless the creator herself actually goes out on record to say it's not canon, it should at least be considered loose canon.
Yeah, and that's exactly what the case was with Hell of a Boss. It really didn't line up. There was a lot of contradictions in that pilot, but everybody treated it as canon until Vivzy officially said at a Q&A it is no longer canon, and then they removed it from the playlist on YouTube.
Damn.
It's still entertaining as all hell, but
there's no question about it.
Yeah, well, there's so many contradictions, though, so it makes sense why it's not considered canon.
I was so shocked when I saw the new character designs for Hazbin Hotel. I'm like, I could tell these are the characters they're meant to be, but there's something off. And then I looked at Charlie's pilot, and I'm like, oh, her pupils are black in that. And in the actual show, her eyes are red.
That one actually took me a while to notice. I did not notice that until the flashback episode, when everybody's like, oh yeah, it's her pilot getup, except her eyes are still red. I'm like, wait, her eyes weren't originally red? I'm apparently not observant.
Well, you're apparently more observant than me, as we'll very clearly tell later. So, I'm kind of going about this like an essay. We're going to go through several topics about, Hazbin Hotel, hopefully as quickly as we can. I don't want this to be another hour-long review like Jurassic World Dominion was. But I don't see that happening. So we're going to go by characters, the story, the music, which I'm really excited to talk about, and general overall thoughts and hopes for... And to wrap it up, we'll talk about overall hopes for season 2 when that comes out.
Alright.
So
sounds good.
We're going to be grading this like we're going to be grading a paper, so F through A. Unless you really feel strongly to give extra credit, then we can give it an S.
Oh, we'll see what happens. Right. So where are we going to start?
So, characters. Where do you think is a good jumping off point from here? So we start with the main protagonist, Charlie.
That's probably a fair place to start. Probably Charlie, Vaggie, Alastor.
Hotel.
Yeah. I am very pleased with her character development, actually. It tracks perfectly with the pilot, which I greatly enjoy. It's it's the same character, clearly.
Yeah, very much.
But it's interesting seeing more depth for why she is the way she is. I know there's the line where Husk says what everybody's issue is because he's the bartender, and
he says that she wants to help everyone else's issues, but not her own.
Yep. So that she can avoid her own. And when they introduce Lucifer, there's a lot of depth to that. She has a lot of issues with her parents that have really driven her to be who she is.
And that's really relatable to me because I come from parents that, well, number one, they never married and they separated when I was very young.
Yep. So and one way or another, that'll affect you.
The only difference is that it affected me more negatively than I think it affected Charlie. But we're not here to talk about my past.
Nah, thankfully with Charlie, it drove her to desperately want to help the other denizens of hell.
Yeah, it made her a productive citizen, I guess, in hell, if you could even find one.
And that's what's so interesting about her character. You can clearly see the fact that Lucifer was once an angel had a massive impact on Charlie's personality, because a person like her, plain and simple, shouldn't exist in hell.
Right. She's a saint,
but she
basically.
Does. Oh, absolutely.
Everyone else in hell is about murder, drugs, and sex.
Yep. Or, all three together at the same time.
Yeah, there's that. There's one character in particular that kind of embodies that, but we'll get to that later.
But I'm very pleased with her character overall.
Yeah.
Especially in the finale when we get to see her get angry. That was a very drastic change.
Yeah, she got pissed. Oh, by the way,
and rightly so.
Before we continue, spoilers. This is a spoiler review. I really need to do that beforehand every time.
Oh, yeah.
I remember getting called out for it on my watch party, even though you should know that going in, there are going to be spoilers.
Yeah, I mean, it's a watch party. You're watching the show. That makes sense.
Yep. Anyway, continuing when we were talking about how she was getting angry.
Oh, no, that was just awesome, because that was a drastic departure from how we've seen glimpses.
Yeah, we've seen her
throughout the pilot and
the
show
of eye color, but we never see her go full on demon.
Yeah, that was very interesting to see her actual demon form, because all we've seen is really her eyes go full red and she gets horns, and that's pretty much the extent that we've seen.
And a little reverb on her voice.
Oh, yeah.
Which seems to be like a common thing for, like, demons in power.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just look at Alastor and Lucifer. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know what to expect, like, especially for the second to last episode, when, a certain someone is revealed to be an angel themselves. I thought that would have been the straw that finally broke the camel's back.
I agree, and I feel like the big reason the things progressed the way they did is purely due to time limitations. Yeah. That honestly, overall, that's my one complaint with the first season is pacing, because they had a hard 8-episode limit.
Yeah, but I really love her character. I don't know why, but she gives me major Anna vibes from Frozen, and I know I probably shouldn't be making that comparison because fuck Disney,
It really does, though, now that you say that. Very innocent and naive and sees the best in everybody, even when it's not there.
Until you give her a reason to not trust you.
Oh, and then get ready for hellfire.
Oh, yeah, at that point, you're asking for death. Yeah, that's Charlie. Oh, do you want to talk about Adam, or do we want to keep moving on with, like, the main cast?
Let's keep going on with the main ones for now. All right, so I think Vaggie'd be a next.
Yeah, Vaggie, the obviously the closest person to Charlie, other than her father.
And honestly, Vaggie's character is... I was actually incredibly shocked by the depth they gave her. I expected her, based on the pilot, she really was shown as a character who's defined by Charlie.
Yeah. She's that supportive girlfriend that, like, no matter how harebrained her partner's schemes and ideas are, she'll go with it. Like, she'll support her to the end. That is a good partnership.
Oh, it is. But it's still interesting to see who she was before she met Charlie, which
because
I guess there was a theory about that, but I had never heard it.
Me neither.
I was very shocked. Alert,
it turns out Vaggie's not a demon. She's a fallen angel. And not just that, she's an exorcist.
It's interesting for so many reasons, because when you consider the logic of they didn't kill her, they left her in hell, and had anyone known what she was, she would have been destroyed almost instantly. There's no love for exorcists.
Would she, though? I mean,
well, you see,
at that time,
that
angels weren't known to be killed by demons.
And you see, that's the other interesting part. Because technically, demonic weapons can't hurt angels, but it's one of those, like, they literally ripped her wings off and left her for dead, so she was already injured? So maybe, like, I don't know, an Overlord could have finished her? I don't know. Maybe. But it's interesting that she never truly died. They just left her in heaven. Or, I'm sorry, in hell.
Maybe because they just figured, they're stupid enough to try it, now that she's wounded.
Yeah, they definitely left her for dead.
Little did they know that Lucifer's daughter would find her first.
And a little tidbit about that I found very interesting is the accepted fan theory is that after exterminations, Charlie literally just goes around with first aid items trying to help everybody, which I 100% see that.
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly.
That is entirely in character for her, and in my head, that makes perfect sense for why she was out and found Vaggie, like, instantly.
Yeah, that would explain why she was just there at the right place at the right time.
But their dynamic is awesome.
Oh, it's incredible. Although I do feel like sometimes their relationship is a little bit one-sided in one direction, whereas, Vaggie knew everything about Charlie, but Charlie never knew that Vaggie was an exorcist.
And I will say, one thing that has been gnawing at me, when they were in heaven and Adam literally told her, I am going to reveal what you are, that was her chance to go and tell Charlie first.
Yeah, that was her opportunity. Actually, any opportunity
it would have been so much better.
Would have been better.
It would have been rough, but it would have been better than coming from Adam, of all people.
Yeah, that we'll get to him. We have a lot of things to say about him.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, Vaggie's character really good. Also, I just think it's funny that, like, her character is... I don't remember which one. I think it was Tiffany from Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous Season 2.
That sounds right.
I'm pretty sure it's the same voice actors. And I'm like, wow, so her voice actress is like a villain in the Jurassic franchise.
And it's also from Encanto. Mirabel Madrigal.
Yeah. So it was so
literally the lead.
So it was jarring to hear her swear after being in 2 roles for, like, children media, basically.
Yup.
Like,
incredibly so.
Like, dear Lord.
But it's also shocking that they managed to get 2 front-lining Disney musical performers, yeah, for Hazbin Hotel. The other one being Keith David.
So that's basically the 2 main characters, like, kind of covered. Now I want to talk about my favorite character out of the whole bunch, Angel Dust. I fucking love him so much. And not in the way that most of you guys are probably thinking. I love his character. As an individual, oh man, he's such a sad background.
It's a character with a lot of depth.
A lot of damage. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah, he's got so much. Like, he's got depth and he's got damage.
And it's so nice to finally get to see that, because in the pilot we only saw the fake persona that Angel puts forward.
And then an addict, it introduced why he is the way he is.
And I'll say this, he was one of the 2 characters I was very concerned about being recast, and I think the new voice actor...
Yeah, me too. I was so afraid. Yeah, the new voice actor, oh my god, he did great. I'm pretty sure he's also the voice actor of Fizzarolli from Hell of a Boss.
No, you're thinking of Adam's voice actor.
Oh, never mind. I thought they were the same.
Angel's new voice actor, Blake Roman, he's a fairly new individual. In one of the Q&As, Vivzy said when he showed up, he blew him away.
He did a great job of bringing the character to life.
And apparently he is actually from Queens, which is where Angel is supposed to be from, in New York. So it's very fitting for him to play the character. I was very pleased.
Yeah, seeing him, like, actually getting harassed by Valentino and assaulted, that kind of hit me like a train to the chest. That was rough to watch. Good thing they put a disclaimer at the very beginning of the episode once it finally aired.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a very, very touchy episode for a lot of people. But you know what? It's there to, like, explain, Angel's conflict as a character. He is a porn star. He does drugs. He does alcohol. But that's because,
he's hiding. And any chance he can, he tries to just block out everything that's happening to him.
And he's hoping that, like, if he damages himself enough, he can finally get his soul back from Valentina.
Or at the bare minimum, have him not be Val's favorite anymore.
Also, his relationship with Husk. Oh my god, I love it so much.
I do too. I know Husker Dust was a very popular fanship.
And I'm starting to think that it might be a possibility now. Like,
from what I've seen, it is not quite confirmed, but it's very close to being confirmed.
Like, it is kind of like looking a little sus, because there is a moment before the final showdown in the finale where Angel says, Charlie said, "Let's live tonight. So pour me another one." And as Husk is, getting him a drink, he kind of like looks at him. Like,
those two definitely grew very close.
In a way that suggests, a closeness. Maybe not necessarily a romance blooming, but a possibility.
I didn't really have any feelings towards that kind of ship, but now I kind of see it and I kind of like it. I think it's a good pairing.
It's not as strong as, like, say, Blitz and Stolas.
Absolutely not.
Where you want to see them be together.
Yeah. But these two, they're definitely helping each other become better, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, and they're sympathetic towards each other because they're basically in the same situation.
And that is something I find incredibly interesting, the fact that they both have contracts for their souls. I'm very curious how that will work in terms of redemption, if that's enough to break the contract.
After I saw Addict, I just knew he was going to be a big character for me. Like, I love his actor. I love, the story they're going with him. Oh man, it's just beautiful. I also just love I just love his humor too. Like, anytime someone says, when Husk said, "These angels just keep coming,"
I love it.
He said it. He put it best himself. I kind of walked into that one.
I love that he's literally an Italian mobster from New York. Uses Tommy guns. I love it.
And also, I'm pretty sure, like, in this universe, when you go to hell, your form basically represents something about yourself.
From what I understand, it's a combination of who you were as a person and how you die normally plays a little bit into that, which I'm sure you noticed one of Dust's Angel's eyes is, like, black.
Yeah.
And the fan theory for that is because when you overdose on certain narcotics, you get, like, petechial hemorrhaging in your eyes. Ah. And that's a leftover result of how he died, which we know is an overdose.
Yeah. But I'm curious where the spider thing comes from. Did he have, like, a thing for spiders, or what?
That's because his entire family, it was a web of lies and destruction.
It's a lot deeper than that.
Yep, it comes into the mobster thing. It's his brother, Arachnus, who we see for, like, a single frame, also a spider, and his sister we see in heaven for, like, 2 frames, also a spider. And it's the whole family.
And, of course, we know that they're not the only spiders, but we'll get to them later, I'm assuming. Well, now that we're on the subject of contracts, Alastor.
Oh, my fave. I think, if I haven't showed you a video of my PC build, I need to, because it is Alastor themed. Hands down my favorite character.
You guys want to see a die-hard has-been hell of a fan? This guy's got stickers, he's got pins, he's got keychains, he's got the whole, like, fucking wax and mold.
And it started with Alastor. I am all about his aesthetic. I love, like, the 30s radio vibe.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong, it's hard to see him be such a piece of shit.
And his story, too, because, if I remember correctly, he was accidentally killed by a hunter who mistook him for a deer. If you see, he has an X in his forehead where he was shot. And even when he's not in his full demon form, he does have, like, the little antlers by his little tufts of hair.
And he was actually killed while disposing of a body in the woods, because he was a serial killer while alive.
Oh, damn! Yeah, that does
explain
cannibal. Why he's more malicious. Oh, yeah, that might explain the teeth. And also why he was eating a raw deer corpse.
Yeah, he's an individual who certainly belongs in hell.
Oh, yeah, that guy, there's no saving this motherfucker. He deserves to be in hell. There's no redeeming that.
It was interesting, though, because there were a few moments in the show where his it seemed like he had genuine feelings towards his friends at the hotel. Like, he genuinely cared about them. There was a couple small moments, which was odd, because he's not supposed to. It's supposed to be just BS. He said it himself in the pilot. He's there to watch them fail.
He's there to entertain himself.
Yeah.
Not because he believes that sinners can be redeemed.
And there was the song with Lucifer where he is 1,000% gaslighting Lucifer.
He's got a hate boner for basically any overlord that's more powerful than him.
And he's gaslighting the hell out of Lucifer. He's screwing with him entirely. He doesn't. I don't think he actually thinks of Charlie like a daughter. I think that was an entire load.
Just to fuck with him.
But when he sings his song with Rosie in the cannibal colony, he says something about Charlie having potential and sticking with her and guiding her, which almost seemed like he cared about her. Combined with the fact that
it could mean something a bit more nefarious.
Absolutely, because we still don't quite know who he has a deal with.
That's right, because we do learn at one point during the season that Alastor, he makes deals. He's an overlord. He, has people's souls, like Husk. He has his soul. Because he was once an overlord, but we'll get to that. But it turns out Alastor himself, he's on someone else's chain.
Yep, someone owns his soul, which in a way makes sense, because that's been bothering me since the pilot. They mention how virtually overnight he became one of the most powerful overlords in hell. That there had never been another sinner become as powerful as he had as fast as he did.
Yep. And
so it's been bugging me that somebody had to have helped him.
And I think you and I both know who that someone is, and we'll get to them when we finish talking about characters. Because it's a pretty out there theory, but it might be more closer to the truth than we think.
Oh, and his voice actor, he was the other one I was concerned about being recast, but I think Amir Talai, his new voice actor, he killed it.
Yeah. I also
especially when
that, now it's confirmed that the little microphone that he carries around isn't the source of his power. Or is
back before...
Oh, wait, no, he didn't need it for his voice.
Yeah, so a few years ago, well before the show aired, I guess Viv said this at some point, which is clearly not canon anymore. But originally she said he would be unable to speak without his microphone, but as the microphone was part of him, he manifested it, that there would not be a scenario in which that would happen, except clearly it's not a part of him. Yeah. It almost seems as though that was a gift from somebody.
Yeah, because we clearly hear him say, "What just happened?" As soon as we see, his microphone snapped in half. And he still talks after that. He does a whole number at the end of the show. So we know he can still speak.
Oh, absolutely. And I love it. If you watch, he drops his voice filter a few times.
Yeah,
it's entirely intentional. That's something he entirely controls.
I don't know what's more menacing. His radio voice or his actual one.
Oh, it depends on context. When he drops it for Adam, it's like, oh god, he's about to get obliterated. But all the other times he drops it, where it's almost intentional, it's unsettling.
Also, his little comment, this face was made for radio. Now, I know that's normally an insult, to people that aren't, particularly seen as good looking, but for Alastor's character, holy shit, it's such a clever line.
It is. And the medium of radio, that's his entire shtick. Assuming the previous bits of his origin are still canon, serial killer, but he was also a radio show host.
Yeah.
While he was alive. He adores the format. So it makes sense.
It does.
And it's also funny that
motif.
It's also hilarious he just doesn't want to be on video or picture at all.
And we'll get to the reason why. With one bunch of characters in particular. But moving on, we now have Husker, a.k.a. the guy who is voiced by Keith David.
Oof. Such a good cat. I was iffy about that one a little bit, too. Not so much.
Me too. But
I love Keith David's voice.
Yeah, I know. Me too. His voice acting, he has quite a lot under his belt. He was the villain in Princess and the Frog. He was the Salamander King, I think, in Amphibia. He was also the Scorpion General in Kulapari, Warrior Frogs.
He was everywhere. The Black Cat in Coraline, actually.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't until recently either, because that's a movie I kind of avoid because it's like nightmare fuel.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But he was the voice of the cat. So I was never concerned about that. My concern was, for me, because McLauer in the pilot, Husk's voice is so gritty. And it's rough. It's like sandpaper. And Keith David, his voice is like molasses. And I gotta say, I absolutely adored every second Husker talked on screen.
Yes!
Especially when he sang. Because, oh my god, Husk singing is so good. It's so good. It's
so criminal, though, that he only got to sing one actual song the whole time.
Which, I thought the same thing, but then when you look at it, other than Charlie, most characters only got one major song.
I mean, Angel, he was the exception because he got like, what, 2?
Yeah, counting the duet with Husk, yeah.
Yeah, he got Poison, and then my favorite song in the whole damn show.
Oh, hands down, same. Loser Baby. Love it.
Yeah, and of course, Husk isn't just like the wise old drunk bartender. He was, at one point, an overlord with a gambling problem.
That was a shocking revelation. I was not expecting that to be how Alastor came to own him.
What was he doing? Was he like selling his power with every time he gambled, and then the more he gambled,
was gambling
the more
souls.
He lost? Yeah, he was gambling.
Yeah, because
souls.
He was gambling the actual individual souls that he owned.
And to save his power, as he said, he made a deal with Alastor.
So he retains his power, but Alastor owns him.
And I feel like that's kind of frowned upon by overlords, like an overlord that's like under the power of someone else.
Yeah, but Alastor is not somebody you would call traditional.
And also the kind of guy you wouldn't want to backtalk, especially if you're Husk.
Oh, that... So I love Alastor, but that scene was rough. There were moments with Alastor where I'm like, I love and hate you at the same time.
Yeah, me too. It's like, oh, you're awesome, but I don't fucking trust you.
And he threatened to shred
his
Husk's
soul. And
obliterate him.
And not only that, but to broadcast his screams to all the denizens of hell.
And that's when you realize Alastor wasn't just killing overlords, he was obliterating them in the most painful way possible. They didn't just cease to exist. They suffered while it was happening.
And everyone knew they were dying.
And, anytime we see demonic Alastor is just pure nightmare fuel.
Oh yeah, but it's such a great, it's so beautifully animated every time he goes into that demonic mode.
But back to Husk, because I could talk all day about Alastor. But
yeah,
Husk,
we could, but Husk, oh my god.
I love him as a cat. I love the scene where they're at the BDSM club and he's getting
he's like,
I love it.
I don't mind this. I'm ready to punish some bad. Oh, you know what? That's the next character we can talk about. Nifty. Oh my god. That's the only character I can't stand, and not for a good reason.
I didn't know what to expect from her because we see her for I don't know, maybe 60 seconds in the pilot.
Like a minute. And all and she's just seen as like the paranoid cleaner. Yeah, she's crazy. Yeah. But in the actual show, that's dialed up to like an 11.
Yeah.
I mean, no, we went talking about killing.
Okay. I think she's.
I mean, you hear her talking about killing baby bugs in front of their mothers, and falling to great heights just to feel pain and be excited about it. God damn.
Oh yeah. Well, Husk said it best. And Nifty, you don't even want to know what her thing is.
And I hope we don't. That's a character I don't want a deep dive of.
Oh no, that's not what I expected. I find her entertaining, but incredibly concerning.
Yeah, me too.
And I think it's really summed up best when she has that little moment with Alastor, because from what we understand, Alastor likely doesn't own Nifty's soul. She just hangs around with him because they're kind of similar.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that Alastor hangs around with
that are very similar in temperament to him.
Yeah, except Mimsy. That's an exception. But yeah, Nifty. Yeah. Oh my god. There are characters you love to hate. I just hate Nifty, period. There's no love there. I just don't like her. She freaks me the hell out.
She cracks me up, but I know exactly what you mean. She's
Like,
very
she's funny,
unsettling.
But she's the most unsettling thing in this whole show, aside from Alastor.
We're about 80% sure she's harmless. I think that number's a little inflated.
Yes.
Clearly after the finale.
Oh, very much. Very much. Because she did play a pivotal role in said finale. We kind of got, like, all of the... oh, wait, there's one more resident in that hotel we forgot.
I was going to say, there's one more.
Sir Pentious. Rest in peace. That guy was a fucking hero.
So, a lot of people were predicting that he would be the one to die in the finale.
And you know what?
Oh, it was spot on. I listened to a few videos on how he was going to be the one to die and the first one to be redeemed in heaven. And this was 2-3 weeks before the ending.
Yeah, me personally, I heard that it was a toss-up between Sir Pentious and Angel Dust. Because one of my fans told me that there was a moment in the trailer where you see Charlie crying.
Outside of his room.
Yeah, and there are pictures of him and Fat Nugget. By the way, Fat Nugget, fucking love him so much. I just want to squeeze him.
Apparently that was a gift from Valentino, actually.
Oh,
yeah, I know.
I don't know how to feel about that anymore now.
But, no, I feel like fans hit the nail on the head with Pentious, and the logic was, he was originally written as a one-off character in the pilot.
He was.
He wasn't particularly meant to return.
He was just cannon fodder for Alastor.
Yeah. And originally, the hotel was supposed to have 2 more denizens in season 1, that being Angel's brother Arachnus and a mad scientist, like fish demon-looking little guy named Baxter. I guess Pentious was a fan favorite, so they wound up
him instead.
Sidelining those 2. Yep, they used him,
and I'm very glad they did.
I am too, because I actually wound up liking him a lot more than I thought.
Me too.
That was actually also voiced by Alex Brightman.
I actually felt like a knife was being twisted in my chest when he got obliterated.
Especially because of the way it happened. It was so anticlimactic.
It was so unceremonious.
He just vanished. It wasn't like an epic explosion. It was just dead.
You just fart in the wind and you're gone. Also kind of an unceremonious revival, because he just shows up in heaven.
I will say, though, that is one of my favorite moments from the entire show. If you look at Sera's face, she looks horrified.
And then Ed's face is like, squeak?
The little squeak. I can't get over how stinking cute that little squeak was. He is so wholesome, and then Sera is this corrupt piece of shit.
I don't think it's that she's corrupt. I think she's just misguided.
Yeah, and a big part of it is they literally admit they don't know how heaven actually works.
Yeah. But yeah, I love Octavia, but, from Hell of a Boss. But now with Emily, I think there's competition for, like, cute, teenage sort of characters.
I really want to see more screen time of her with Charlie, because the dynamic between the 2 of them was incredible.
Yeah, they're
awesome.
They're basically like sisters in a way.
Oh, they killed, like, all the egg boys, too. There's, like, from what we saw on screen, there's one left alive.
Yeah, and that was the one Angel saved.
And it's interesting, and, again, this is old canon. It's unclear if this is still accurate or not, but the egg boys were supposed to be manufactured demons, meaning they're not souls, they're not hellborn, they are something that Pentious created.
Right. Unlike the minions from Despicable Me, where they just kind of evolved into existence.
Yeah. But the point being, the egg boys who died, from what I can tell, they just ceased to exist.
So that means there could always just be more.
Yes, but it also, the part that makes me sad is that the ones who died with Pentious, from what we know, they did not go to heaven with Pentious, and that makes me very sad.
Well, did they even have souls to go to heaven?
And you see, that's the ultimate point I was making.
They just ceased to exist.
Yep. And I find that very sad.
That is actually sad. Also, every time he said minions, did you ever think about the minions from Despicable Me? Because every time I heard that word, I'm like, fucking Despicable Me. And now that the Despicable Me is now actually getting a new movie, I'm like, god damn it, this doesn't help.
Yeah, no, it definitely popped into my head, especially when Pentious is like, they say crazy shit all the time, and then one of them says something about something about a bank.
The shadow government.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
He's like, see? Yeah, I'm like, yeah, those are minions.
Let me be honest. Be honest with me. In episode 3. Yeah, episode 3, where the egg says, you know, an angel was killed by someone in hell. Did you expect like Pentious to like go to sleep for like a few seconds and then be like, "Wait, what?"
That is exactly what I expected.
No,
that is 100% hands down what I expected.
I expected it too, but no, he just out through one ear, out the other.
And in hindsight, I guess that makes sense because they really do say a lot of crazy stuff.
I mean,
we have names.
An old guy, a nice lady, and a dinosaur.
Oh, what's her name? Missy Zilla, I think. Yeah, that's her name, the dinosaur.
Yeah, I can very clearly tell that the design's like inspired by like Velociraptor and things like that.
That was definitely interesting. Apparently, she was in the pilot for a few frames.
Yes, is she supposed to be like a major character now that she's appeared in like the pilot and season 1 or whatever?
So, in the pilot, you see Carmine Carmilla, you see Zestial, and you see Missy together in a room with a shadow figure sitting in a chair, and
Overlords.
It was heavily implied that those are Lucifer's lieutenants, that those are the 3 overlords that he trusts the most, except now we see that Lucifer literally couldn't care less about what happens in hell.
Yep.
So...
Yeah, and I think Pentious wanted to become an overlord himself.
Well, one interesting the thing about Pentious I saw somebody point out, he never really embraced being a demon. It was entirely his intelligence, his ability to build. He never resorted to souls and magic and being a demon.
He was an innovator, an inventor.
Yep, and that's pretty impressive that he attempted to become an overlord that way. So he's a very interesting character. I'm very glad he became a bigger character than he originally was meant to be.
Yeah, although I will say he was very quick to apologize. I mean, like, damn.
That was impressive.
It was.
But, you know, like, the next episode.
But yeah, he kind of like, he has trust issues.
But in that one moment, he was genuinely surprised that they were willing to forgive him.
And that he meant it when he said that he was sorry. Well, kind of.
That time, I think he did.
Yeah. Because that was actually like a major betrayal.
Vox just threw him away like garbage.
Oh yeah. Just said, if they don't kill you, do it yourself, you miserable failure.
Yeah, and then he literally curled up and said, just please make it quick.
And who should be the first to forgive but Charlie?
Which is funny because Vaggie and Angel were ready to obliterate him.
Kill him. They were going to tear him a new one.
Oh.
What about his relationship with Cherri Bomb? That kind of came out of left field.
It did, but I kind of like that she was on board with it at the end. It makes it really sad that he, you know...
That he died.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hoping...
died.
Well, yeah, died. He died in hell.
Yeah.
But he was revived.
Which I gotta tell you, the fact that he sacrificed himself it's more meaningful than I think people really realize.
Because he did literally everything Adam said to do to get into heaven.
Well, not even that, but like, when he went to fight Adam...
Be selfless.
And stick it to the man.
I said that.
Oh, don't steal.
Don't steal, be selfless, and stick it to the man. That's what he did. Literally. But I mean, he did steal a kiss from Cherri Bomb, but that's about it. Yeah.
But when he went up there to fight Adam, he basically knew he wasn't going to win. He knew Adam was going to destroy him. As a demon in hell fighting an angel, that would have meant he ceased to exist. He knew that. And he still did it.
Yeah. And he was rewarded for it.
Oh, absolutely. And you look at Alastor, who, yeah, he fought Adam, but when Adam got the upper hand, Alastor's just like, yeah, I'm out, I don't want to die.
Yeah, peace out, bro. Yeah, he came really close to death. I didn't think that would happen.
I think everybody overvalued how powerful Alastor was in terms of, like, Lucifer and heaven.
Alastor is powerful, but that doesn't mean he's invincible.
The thing is, in terms of power in hell, there's limits to how powerful a sinner can become. Because they were a human soul. You look at Stolas, the Ars Goetia. Basically confirmed at this point to be more powerful than Alastor. Because the actual native hellborn royalty is more powerful than a sinner, just by definition.
Right.
A lot of people thought Alastor was more powerful than Lucifer, and that is clearly not the case.
Yeah, and maybe that's why Alastor hates Lucifer so much, because he knows that he won't be able to get on his level.
Oh, yeah, let's be entirely clear. At any point during that song, Lucifer could have just ended Alastor's existence.
He could have. He has the power to do it.
Easily.
We really are like straying away from Pentious, but I think there's really not much to talk about. He was the first resident in the hotel to be redeemed.
Yep. And in that instance, I'm kind of glad they made it him instead of like Arachnus or Baxter, because
which is making me wonder how is that going to play in season 2, especially now that Emily and Sera know that he's there now.
Oh, I need like episode 1 for somebody to tell them.
I need
them to tell Charlie. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I want them to literally open a window to hell and be like, "Hey,
I believe this is yours."
Yeah, we got Pentious up here.
Like Sarah's trying
just
to
so they know, because they think he's dead, and that makes me sad.
Yeah, it does. But we know better.
Ugh.
I will say,
so who do you want to talk about
I don't
now?
know. I don't know if it's the pacing of the song, but they really got over his death real fast.
They kind of did.
Unless there was like a time skip between lyrics or something. I don't know.
There was probably some kind of time skip because even
clearly
with
they had
Lucifer,
a painting of him made.
Yeah, and even with Lucifer literally building the hotel with magic, that can't have been done in a day. That hotel is massive. Yeah,
the new hotel design. Holy crap! It's basically a casino in Vegas now.
Oh yeah, no, it's enormous.
Yeah, I didn't think the hotel could be upgraded any further than what Alastor did, but I've been proven wrong.
Ah, well, like we just said, Lucifer and Alastor, there's no
different
compare.
Power scale. Yeah. So I think we talked about the main bunch. Why don't we move on to the Overlords of Hell? Starting with, because we kind of opened the floor to him. The V's to start off with: Vox, Velvet, and Valentino.
Now it's very interesting. They're very close to what I expected from like comics and like fan stuff. I don't know quite what I expected with Velvet. She's pretty on brand from what I can tell.
I mean, from Valentino and Vox, we kind of knew their whole stick. Valentino is a pimp. Literal
scum of the earth.
Yeah, like he physically and sexually assaults Angel Dust, and I hope he rots in double hell for that.
Yeah, because here's the thing: if he's doing that with Angel, he's got to be doing it
with other people.
Yeah, this is not a one-off thing. That's definitely the kind of behavior
meant to hate. Like he is written specifically for you to hate.
And it's kind of funny because Vox definitely doesn't seem to be a huge fan.
Oh, that's the thing, though. In the finale, you see them like French kissing. Like
that threw me for a spin. I was not expecting that.
Wait, what?
A lot of fans paired them together well before season 1, and then literally through the whole season, it seems like Vox is more annoyed with Valentino than anything.
Or that he sees him as lower, like that he's his subordinate.
Oh, I'm very curious who's the most powerful of the three, because there's very conflicting things.
It's gotta be Vox. He controls the media. Like, he's literally the television demon.
That would definitely be my choice, but Velvet clearly thinks that she's the backbone of them.
Well, yeah, because she's a bitch.
Yeah. Alastor's little song is like, ooh, is Vox as strong as he purports, or is it based on his support? Which, that's probably just throwing shade at Vox in hindsight. But,
speaking of that, I love the dynamic between those two. They clearly very much hate each other. I think it's more violent for Vox, though, because he nearly got his ass kicked by Alastor, and he was rejected by Alastor to, join them. He said no.
So, that was very... Are you still mad at when he almost beat you that time? That line still sticks in my head, because that means that Vox, thus far, has beaten Alastor, which blows my mind.
Yeah.
In terms of power scale, that means Vox is stronger than we've seen.
I think it's it's supposed to be, it's very clearly the metaphor of radio versus TV. It's the media wars. Which one is the better format?
Vox clearly thinks he's the best, and Alastor being gone for 7 years, which I need to know what's up with that.
If Vox really is stronger than Alastor, may I just say, Alastor's surprisingly chill. Like in a mind game, he's obviously gonna win, but in physical strength, Vox, maybe.
And you see, I think that's a big part of why Alastor is as powerful as he is. He gets under people's skin.
Like, and he doesn't just do it with Vox, he does it with basically any demon he hates.
Oh, yeah. And absolutely. He did it with Lucifer, which was hilarious.
He did it with Adam!
Yeah, he got under Adam's skin. That was funny.
Yeah, just seeing everyone that Alastor comes and just throws shade at, just lose and stumble and stutter their sentences, it's perfection. Like, that's the kind of guy I want on my side if I was ever challenged to a rap battle. But Vox as a character, oh my, I love his aesthetic, like the TV and all that stuff.
Well, I don't know if you noticed. Him and Alastor are wearing the exact same suit.
They are. It's just different colors.
Which I did not. Well, and Alastor's is a little tattered around the bottom, but I'm assuming that's by choice. But yeah, literally the same outfit, which is very telling.
Yeah.
They were probably quite close at one point, at least in terms of associates or something along that vein.
Yeah. Velvet, well, she's just the generic, model? Dressmaker?
I got social media. Yeah, social media influencer is the first thing that comes to mind for me.
Yeah, I hate her. That's a mega, that's not even just a bitch, that's a mega bitch.
Interestingly enough, she is the youngest Overlord and Zestial is the oldest.
You know what? I can see that.
Yeah, no, because you figure social media is her whole shtick. She's clearly very new to Hell.
Like, I'm pretty sure all the V's are relatively new Overlords, considering, Carmine, her daughters, Zestial, and all the other Overlords are kind of more like, they've been around longer.
Yeah, that's more established.
And Zestial, he's the oldest of the bunch.
Which, that character was actually very unsettling.
Yes. If you combine Stolas with a spider, that's basically him.
Except make him nightmare fuel, where literally people walk out of a bar, see him, and light themselves on fire out of fear.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even the way he talks, he speaks like someone from a Shakespearean play.
Well, it's interesting. That is Asmodeus' voice actor.
Yes, it was. And you can hear it, especially when he starts singing.
Yep, and I love that. I love the Hell of a Boss VAs that had roles.
Yes.
That made me very happy.
And I know this might be wishful thinking, but I'm hoping a Hell of a Boss cameo might be a thing. I'm hoping.
I know. I'd like one character from either show to appear in the other, at least for
just the briefest of seconds. Because we had like a Fizz-Raleigh spin-off sort of thing with Valentino.
Those were even if they weren't based on Fizz-Raleigh, those were 1000% made by Asmodeus, because they're so incredibly similar. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just that Valentino is just so fucking rich that he can afford a custom Fizz-Raleigh. So, do we move on to Carmilla Carmine, the one who actually killed an angel?
I wish we had more screen time and more of an explanation for that. It was very neat, but even the flashback seemed very short.
I mean, that's also something the Hell of a Boss sometimes has an issue with. Like, when we see, how Fizz-Raleigh and Blitz were injured, and how, Blitz supposedly lost his mother.
Yeah, and we get about 5 seconds of screen time for that.
Yeah, that's it. I think they just follow the same formula, because it's just the same creator.
Yeah, and I mentioned this earlier, pacing. There was a hard limit on what they could do.
Yeah.
But...
which I'm hoping means we get more episodes in season 2.
Oh, I'll say, based on the absolutely overwhelming numbers they got on Amazon Prime, the finale was #1 on Amazon for like a week.
Yeah, no shit.
But everybody, and I'm going to briefly touch on this, that people love pulling up drama with Vivzy Pop, and I'm not even going to talk about that because it's a whole mess, but
there's one going around right now like, I have 50K. Do this. Like, goddamn.
Yeah.
Come on.
But a lot of these haters were saying, oh, the support for this show is overinflated because the pilot on YouTube is 5 years old. So this is the numbers from over 5 years. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. But then you look at the numbers on Amazon, and clearly there is a sizable fan base. Yep. It's not as overinflated as they would have you believe.
I mean, I watched the whole series 3 times. Twice after, I finished watching the whole thing, after, all the episodes finally dropped.
Oh, yeah. No, same. I've watched it a few times. I absolutely love it. The music fucking kills it.
Yes, and we'll get to that. But Carmine, I like
And
her.
interesting.
I like, what is she, like, Latino? She's obviously, like, Spanish or something.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure where, but yeah.
I said
Which that
Latino.
was interesting.
Latina, excuse me. That's the politically correct term.
Which
But
I liked that.
Yeah.
The influence on the music was interesting.
Yeah. And I told you, I already told you this before we recorded, but that woman, oh my god. I don't sniper monkey for a lot of cartoon characters, but damn it, she can. Whew!
Oh yeah, there's a couple characters that I'm like that with.
Yeah.
We'll get to them.
Will we?
Well, probably one of them. One of them is, let me just say, Charlie's demon form was just.
Ooh, I don't know if we want to talk about Charlie in that light.
Regardless, we're gonna quickly move past my comment there.
Yes, we're gonna sweep that under the rug.
But Carmilla was an interesting character because I'm sure you remember Hell of a Boss, the first episode with Stryker.
Yes.
He had the Carmine blessing tipped rifle.
Oh yeah, so there is a connection there.
Yep, that was Carmilla Carmine's company. They make
holy weapons or
and
weapons that
angelic
can kill demon royalty.
Yep, because they reuse the scrapped angelic metal, which can kill demons and angels.
And we know that's how she killed an angel.
Which I was not expecting her little ballet
her
pointy
little shoes, yeah, they're actually blades.
I wasn't expecting that.
No. And she didn't do it out of malice. She did it to protect her children.
Which was interesting. That's an interesting dynamic, because when in Vox's little song, he talks about, like, how does this affect your family? And I'm just like, how many actual families are there in the pride ring of, like, sinners?
Right.
Because that implies multiple family members went to hell.
Right.
So it's interesting that both of her daughters are in hell with her, and they run a company.
Or maybe she found someone else in hell and had kids with them.
Oh, well, and
that's always a possibility.
So it is, but I'm going to give you the outdated information warning here, because, before season 1 came out, they said that sinners were sterile and incapable of reproducing. We don't know if that's still true. That hasn't been confirmed.
There are a lot of things you've already told me that are no longer canon, like Alastor not being able to speak, or
which is why grain of salt. There's a warning with every time I bring this up that this very well might be outdated, but this was previously.
Which now makes me wonder, how the fuck did all three of them end up together? What did they do?
Well, like I said, Angel's whole family's supposed to be in hell, minus the sister. Apparently, that was
yeah, because they were
out
mob.
Of the blue.
They were part of the mafia, or whatever.
Yep. So his dad is supposed to be a character at some point too.
Oh God.
Yeah, apparently they have
it's not another Blitz situation. I think that might be a bit too damaging for me to handle. Yeah,
they reportedly have a rough relationship.
Oh God. This is why I love Angel Dust so much.
you gotta figure though, Angel. We're talking 1930s, 1940s mobsters.
Yeah.
He was a gay drug addict in that time period.
Right.
That was not looked upon fondly.
I mean, obviously, it's still not looked upon fondly, but not as much.
Yeah, but back then you don't do that. So yeah, I'm curious to see Angel's family play into it. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, and again, Carmine wasn't malicious when she attacked the Angel. She did it to protect her family.
Yep, and she was terrified of the repercussions that killing an angel would have.
Which is why she kept it secret from everyone else. Because if everyone else knew that she had slain an angel, all of hell would rise up to war, and there's no knowing how many sinners would have died.
Which, I'm going to tell you, so my prediction for Season 2 is that Heaven's not going to be the main antagonist, but I have a feeling they will be again in the future.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because now all of hell literally knows, just kill them with their own weapons.
Yeah, that's it.
It's that easy. Yeah. Even Adam was like, that's how they did it?
Yeah. And speaking of Adam,
I mentioned I have the trading cards from that pre-order thing for the show. There's a card for Adam, and then they released pictures of him well before the show, so we knew what he looked like, but there was not a huge amount of confirmation that it was the Adam. We all expected it, but it wasn't really confirmed that it was
until he said it
first
himself.
Adam. Yep.
As he likes to proclaim several times.
Yeah. But it's interesting to see him be such a piece of shit.
He's a dick. And he's very, like, he's also apparently unfaithful if he's fucked so many, like, women.
But then there's the question of, is that okay in heaven? Because the rules in heaven are pretty inconsistent.
Yeah. Like, what the I mean, it seems that, like, heaven's just a bunch of hypocrites when it comes to, like, who can go there and who can't.
Well, and they basically weigh into this. They don't know who makes that decision.
Yeah.
So, and I gotta tell you, the people we see in heaven really don't seem like they belong there all that much.
The biblically accurate angels always throw me off.
Oh, you mean like the rings with the eyes and fire?
Yes.
Yeah, there was. I'm sure you probably remember this. There was like 2 seconds where Sera and Emily had that, and then it flashed away, and they looked normal.
No, they look like fucking Stella from Hell of a Boss. That's what they look like.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Fuck you, bitch! I hate you." And then they transformed. I'm like, "Okay, never mind."
Yep.
I had like that instant reaction of "fucking die."
Yeah. Especially Sera. Sera definitely looked like Stella there for a good bit.
Yeah, and I'm like, I wonder if that was like set up on purpose to be like, oh, you should not like this character.
It very well might have. Honestly, for me with Sera, the red warnings went off during the song when she starts talking to Emily about, I was trying to save you from making that. And she's smiling and there's fire in her eyes.
I'm like, oh my god, she's a fucking yandere from an anime. She's gonna stab someone.
I literally saw that frame. I'm like, I really don't trust you.
No, I don't. That's not a good image.
Because, like, what you were saying, I understood until I saw that frame, and I'm like, I don't really know if you believe what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And getting back to Adam, seeing his actual face, kind of like, oh, so that's what he looks like. It's actually a mask. I guessed it.
Yeah, I was back and forth on that, because we knew all the exorcists wore literally just like LED masks.
Yeah, and
we knew that.
Adam, who looks like an actual demon from hell, turns out that's just a mask too.
Yeah, and I was on the fence because his doesn't behave the same way the exorcists do, where they have like an X for an eye,
it's
and
like
like
one
it's
of
all
those
like
LED
squiggly.
screens, like the ones you can get like that are just sunglasses at the moment.
Yeah,
it's
but
just
his like his looked like an actual face though. It didn't look like this weird, creepy
and you can
voodoo.
very clearly see that he can eat through it because we see him eating spare ribs through it.
Which, let's talk about the joke of that.
I know, because the first woman, biblically, was born from his rib.
Yep, and he's sitting there eating spare ribs.
Trying to get the other one back, I guess.
Oh, that gag took me a little bit, but once I got it, I died. That was hilarious.
Yeah. It's a bit highbrow, I guess you could say. But his death, oh my god, it was so unceremonious, and there was a reason why for that.
I was really expecting him to not die, though, and to be like...
Neither was I! But no, Nifty just came in... No, Nifty just comes in and stabs him from the back.
Well, can we talk about how Charlie tells Nifty to stab any angels that she sees, and she immediately looks at angel dust?
Yeah, because his name is Angel.
Oh, so she's deranged. We already covered that.
Also, did you see Vaggie's face when she saw that Adam was stabbed through the chest?
Yeah, she was smiling, wasn't she?
Yeah, everyone else was freaking out, and then Vaggie's sitting there, like, smiling.
Well, let's be clear.
Like a lunatic.
Vaggie knows him better than any of the rest of them.
I mean, Adam acted like a piece of shit towards her, too. So I'm amazed that, well, actually, no. Knowing Charlie, that makes more sense.
Yeah, well, Charlie and Lucifer were going to spare him. It was going to be those, you live because we allow you to. We're not going to resort to your level.
They were going to be merciful.
They were going to be better than the literal angel.
Until Nifty came in for the sneak attack.
Which Adam kind of deserved, I'm going to be really honest. He did. A major
He was an
ass.
entitled prick. You see, there's a difference between Valentino and Adam. Both of them are meant to be people you hate. The thing is, though, is that Adam is actually humorous. Like, he's actually funny. Whereas Valentino, that's not funny. He's more serious.
Well, and then there's also the fact that Valentino seems... He knows he's a bad person. He knows he's a piece of shit. He knows he belongs in hell. He's content with that.
Yeah.
Adam has this attitude that I'm better than you, regardless of the fact that I act like a bigger asshole than you do.
Yeah.
Because I happen to be an angel somehow.
I'm also kind of shocked that he's not like a higher power in the court when, they were in the court scene. Like, he seemed to be just like under the influences of of the Seraphims.
Well, there is the argument that, the Seraphims, they were only ever angels. They were created as angels.
They weren't, inhabitants of Earth.
Yep. And Adam carries weight because he was the first human to go into heaven.
Human ever to go onto Earth and into heaven.
Yep. So he holds weight.
Even though he clearly doesn't belong there.
Oh, I'm going to tell you right, he 100% got grandfathered in just because he happened to be the first human.
He had to be, yeah. But now that he's dead, and you brought this up in our private conversations, do you think he'll end up in hell? Or is he just erased from existence?
Part of me hopes that he reincarnates in hell because I personally think he deserves that.
Yeah.
But it'll be very interesting. There's the theory that the only reason Pentious went into heaven is because an angel, who was a massive piece of shit and didn't deserve to be there, died at roughly the same time that he did, and that they exchanged.
In this case,
and I don't know. Yeah, and I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. But there is the interesting question of if a sinner in hell can be reborn in heaven, can a fallen angel be reborn in hell?
Exactly. And I guess we only have a few more characters to talk about. We have Lute.
Oh, ooh.
Ooh. I cannot stand her, and in the best way possible.
So, I agree.
She's also way over the top. Even Adam thought that she was... Whew.
Oh, yeah, no, well, I had to turn on captions for what she said in that scene where Adam told her to chill, because I couldn't tell what she was saying, and
And now that you saw...
was questionable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hazbin Hotel, the show on Amazon Prime, gets away with a lot more vulgar expressions than what you see on YouTube.
I think that was one of only 2 times anyone dropped the C word during the show. Actually. There was 3.
First there was Adam, then Valentino, then Lute.
Valentino, that's the one I forgot.
Yep.
Adam literally dropped it in his song, though. What a Chad.
And on the first episode, that took balls.
Oh, I know. I agree that Lute is an intolerable character. You hate her, but let me tell you, Lute without her helmet on hits different.
Oh, that was another baddie for you?
Yes.
Nah,
intolerable personality.
I'd still sock her in the face. I don't know if you've ever heard of Rising of the Shield Hero. It's an anime I love. But there's this one character called Malty, or whatever. She is the biggest bitch I have ever seen in any show, even topping over Lute, even. She accused the main character of rape and assault, and had him thrown out of the kingdom for it. And she just goes out of her way to make his life and every other person's life she meets, hell, basically.
So, I googled that character really quick, just out of curiosity, and under aliases, the first one listed is bitch.
Yes, because in the final episode of Season 1, instead of being executed, they label her as bitch, and her adventurer name, I'm going to bleep it out.
Yep, that was number 2, but I didn't feel like saying that one out loud.
But yeah, no, Lute gives me that massive
terrible.
Fuck you vibe.
Oh, I love her comment about how Charlie and Vaggie's relationship is
vile. What is because, apparently same sex is still looked down upon in heaven.
Well, you see, that's the thing. I am still unclear if that was her problem, or if the fact that it was the literal daughter of Lucifer with an angel.
It could be both.
And I thought that was very interesting because I'm you're pompous as hell. You're entitled as hell.
Yeah, I think pretty much all the Exorcists were.
Also, apparently, I was curious about this up until the finale, but all the Exorcists that we saw, they're all women.
Yeah, all of them, which is that's only something you don't see unless it's an anime or something like that, where it's just fan service. But no.
Well, let's be clear, that was almost assuredly Adam's choice.
Yeah, that guy was horny. Let's not beat around the dead bush.
Yeah.
And now let's talk to Lucifer. That guy came with a very unexpected personality.
I knew bits and pieces. I knew he played the accordion, but only very badly.
And the fiddle. But that he's a master at.
Oh yeah, no, he's good at the fiddle. It's the accordion, it's like a joke. He's horrible at it.
Yep.
I knew he was obsessed with rubber ducks,
which is weird.
And I knew he was supposed to be short.
Short king.
And that's all I knew. And let me tell you, he is not what I expected.
He doesn't really act all that regal. That's the thing.
Oh,
That's what
absolutely
threw
not.
me off. He's nothing like what you would expect from like a character like Stolas. He's more of like a laid back I don't know the term.
Ruler, almost,
yeah,
I guess. It's supposed to be the king, but he genuinely doesn't care.
And he apparently suffers from depression.
So, the vibe I got is being cast into hell with Lilith. Lilith thrived on it, apparently, but Lucifer, it broke him.
Yeah.
Yep. And he's clearly still very angelic. He really doesn't lean too far into the demonic.
A very hopeful, very lighthearted person, and that's very clear because it shines through Charlie.
Yep.
It's just that she's more optimistic than he is at times.
Because his optimism has been every time he's shown it, he's been ruined.
It's destroyed him.
Yep. Which is interesting. It's by all accounts, because I'm not. Clearly, they're more familiar with demonic lore than I am, because they literally have a show in hell. But my understanding is that's a very untraditional portrayal of Lucifer, and I'm all for it. I love him. Take that, depression.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And, like, I'm glad that he finally turned around and, like, began to accept Charlie's hotel and actually helped her rebuild it.
Yep. I think a big part of that was... Well, clearly Adam attacking Charlie, he could not accept
he
that.
wailed on him. Also, he apparently fucked Adam's second wife.
That potentially,
he was
potentially just to screw with him, but potentially did happen.
That fight was very one-sided, by the way. Adam was not landing any hits, and you have Lucifer striking conversation with him, changing forms and tossing him around.
Which, for starters, I love that one of the forms he turns into is a snake. I don't know if you noticed, but he literally has a golden serpent tied around his hat like a bow.
Yep.
I loved that he did that. But he toyed with him. He entirely toyed with Adam, and Adam did not do well.
No, he did not.
Especially when the demonic power came out on top of the angelic power, because Lucifer has both.
Yeah, he just absolutely hammered that poor dude.
Oh, when Charlie blocks his punch, and he's just like, what?
Yeah, he didn't see that coming, now did he?
No, he was not expecting her to be that powerful.
Bitch.
But I love when he's shitting all over Charlie. Oh, what did he call her? He called her sweetie or something really, like,
girly,
insulting like that. Yeah, and she literally stabs him with her pitchfork and says, "That's Princess of Hell, pig."
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's a really good word for him. He's a pig.
Basically, yeah.
And Lucifer handed him his ass on a platter. It was awesome.
Yep, and just to add insult to injury, he's like, you know what? I'm gonna let you fucking live, piece of shit.
Yep.
Well,
which I love.
He tried to let him live.
Yeah, well, that's on Nifty. That's not on them. They tried.
Cherri Bomb. Far cry from what she was in the pilot. She's Aussie. She's an Australian.
I really like that change, though. I'm not gonna lie. I like the other nationalities being portrayed that way.
Yes,
it pleases me.
Yes. You have, and not just like nationalities, but also like regional stuff. Because you have like Angel Dust, who's from New York. He has the accent. You have.
Yep.
You have Cherri Bomb, who is Aussie.
You have Pentious, who is apparently from Victorian England.
Yeah.
Valentino is obviously Hispanic. Same with Carmela Carmine.
And also Vaggie.
Velvet. Yep, Vaggie. Yep, she's... Which, I gotta tell you, I'm very curious about that, if exorcists were humans at one point or not. That's unclear, but that's a whole other thing.
They had to be.
Yeah, because she has like a whole thing, like... You speak Spanish, you're clearly Hispanic, but that's...
And clearly none of the other exorcists that we know of speak like that.
Yeah. Yeah, Velvet, who's British, and we already talked about her. She's a bitch, but...
No, mega bitch. Let's use the politically correct term, mega bitch. But yeah, Australian, that I was not expecting that. That came so out of left field for me. It kind of jarred me a little bit.
It did. It took me, and embarrassingly enough, I was in your stream. I thought she was British. It took me a minute. Initially I thought she was British, and I'm like, well, wait, no, that's Aussie.
Yeah, because I pointed it out.
Yeah. It was very interesting.
Yeah. But I do kind of see it, because she is kind of like a wild child sort of thing.
But it was interesting. I feel like her character is pretty true to what she was in the pilot, and
but I feel like she was very underused.
I do too, but they set it up almost like she's on board with the hotel at the end.
Yes. And also, I don't know if Addict is canon, but it seemed like she had a connection with someone else in Hell that kind of looked like a scarecrow. I was hoping we'd get more backstory on that.
I'm sure we will at some point, because the number of background characters that we've seen on screen in Season 1 is already insanely impressive.
Like, we spent almost a whole hour talking about these characters.
And again, like, the number of returning, like, all the Overlords that were on screen for half a second that are now canon.
Yeah, although almost none of them actually spoke. It was just Carmilla, her daughters, the V's, but they weren't really at the meeting.
Yep, Zestial spoke a little bit.
And one line from Zezi, or whatever the fuck, the dinosaur.
Yep, she spoke one line, which was kind of sad.
Fuck, we just got, how's that sad for you? It's sad for me, because that's a dinosaur. You know me.
Yeah. And then Rosie was literally at that meeting, but she didn't talk.
She didn't, but she did in the finale, and I'm like, oh, that makes up for it more.
Well, initially, I was like, that's Rosie, right? Because, like, we knew about her and Mimsy well before the show was actually, finished.
I didn't know about Mimsy. We want to talk about characters that came out of nowhere? Holy fuck.
Well, that whole entry was a joke, because apparently that's one of Vivzi's favorite characters, and she's been, teasing that character with Alastor for over 10 years.
Yeah.
So that was the whole joke, I'm finally here!
I always found her entrance just be in poor taste. I never liked her entrance, and I don't like her as an individual either. Because, you've ruined the battle between Lucifer and Alastor's song.
So, part of me's that was absolutely hilarious. If you freeze frame when she kicks the door open and Lucifer and Alastor have their faces pressed against each other, the look on both of their faces is priceless.
Yeah.
So it's hilarious, but at the same time, yeah, you literally cut off one of, in my opinion, the best songs in the show so far.
Yep. And we do see that, Alastor, even though they were close, they were like, if you're going to cause damage to the hotel, get the fuck out.
That was one of the moments with Alastor where I'm like,
does he actually,
do you actually
care about the hotel?
Yeah.
Or are you just prolonging your entertainment?
He's a very interesting character who's a lot more complex than I expected him to be.
He's just very mysterious.
Mimsy is very one-sided.
And very stereotypical of, someone who, looks for help when she's in a bind.
Oh, yeah, from what I understand. So she's supposed to be, Alastor's time period, 1920s, 1930s flapper.
Yep.
Is what that kind of getup is called. And she seems to fit the bill pretty well, where she purposely gets herself into trouble and then has other people deal with it.
Yep. Not anymore, though.
Oh, no, Alastor's done, which that cracks me up. She was not thrilled.
Oh, yeah.
What are the side characters we have? There were...
Well, there's...
Oh, Rosie!
Yeah, Rosie. Oh, my God. That for a cannibal, she was surprisingly nice. I didn't think I'd say that about a cannibal.
And she was actually in the intro of the pilot.
Yes, I remember that.
Charlie's first song about the bluebird in hell or whatever that was.
Yeah.
She crosses her husband's name off of her business because I guess
she ate it.
Either, yeah.
If it wasn't for her teeth, I'd be down for that actually.
Yeah, well, you saw when the egg boy waved at her at the meeting.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, she's cute. Teeth flash. Nope, I'm good.
Yeah, and
nope.
Literal cannibal colony.
Yep. What is it with all the cannibals
having got to see
black
that.
eyes? No irises, no pupils, nothing. Just all black. What is up with that? Are they
I don't
dolls?
know. I'm very it's almost reminiscent of the weird little I'm hesitant. I'm not gonna say that word because there's a controversy around that. But the little magic people that Alastor pulls up the ragdoll.
Yeah.
It's very reminiscent of that, except from what I can tell, those are just empty
husks.
Vessels that Alastor creates. These are actual sinners. It's interesting how they can't all have come from the same time and place. That's just illogical. But so it's interesting they all coalesced into this little area, and they're all so similar looking.
Yeah. And I think we have just one more character to talk about, and it's a major character that we know is coming. Lillith.
I was very surprised by that little ending bit.
That was quite the cliffhanger they left on. Also,
well, not even that. It's not what I was expecting.
And it's also the person I theorize has Alastor under contract. Because both of them seem to have disappeared at roughly around the same time.
7 years.
Yep. Alastor disappeared from radio 7 years ago. And then so did Lillith. I'm wondering if she's been in heaven that whole time.
So, the indication I got was that she made a deal with Adam. We know that. Yes. Lute confirms that. Yeah, Lute confirmed it. From what I can tell, the deal involved her doing something for him, and then her being allowed into heaven.
Yep.
The part that throws me and has me kind of on the fence about the deal with her being the one who owns Alastor, because she pieced out. She got out of hell. She literally pieced out of hell.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm gonna go chill up here.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine she actually cares about what's happening.
And it seems that she doesn't really care about, Lucifer or Charlie.
Also, Lucifer doesn't entirely surprise me, but Charlie that's upsetting.
Yeah, very much, yeah. And also, she liked it in hell, so why does she prefer to be in heaven now all of a sudden?
Yeah, they literally said that she thrived in hell. I expected her to be away building some army or coming up with some plan to destroy heaven.
So that makes me wonder, what the hell is she doing in heaven if she thrived so much in hell?
I'm very curious. And I'm very curious when and how her and Lucifer had, a falling out with their relationship.
Yeah, me too, man.
Because I wasn't expecting that at all.
No, me neither.
It's also interesting that they clearly don't have a voice actor for Lillith yet, because she didn't say a single line.
No, but that's kind of expected. It's a big character reveal.
Yeah. It's weird, though, that they were so weird with her face, but then they also weren't, because she was in the portraits in the background. But then, her trading card, you don't see her face.
And the pilot.
They had me thinking there was something weird about her face.
It's no surprise. We know what she looks like.
But then they're weird about it. I don't understand.
Maybe for people that haven't seen the pilot or something.
But even Lucifer had portraits in the background in his episode, where literally the three of them.
Yeah, that is a bit weird and a bit questionable. But you know what? It's an awesome character reveal.
I'm very curious how she's going to play into season 2.
Me too. I think that because she has power over Charlie as her mother, I'm wondering if she's going to try to influence her to stop, redeeming sinners.
That's definitely what Lute wants, but...
Yeah. And, Charlie was able to convince Lucifer that, souls could be redeemed. Not necessarily going to heaven, but they could be changed.
And it's definitely not worth letting heaven just come down here and slaughter our people for fun.
Yep.
That's clearly at an end.
Yeah. But that's pretty much all the characters. Really, really well-rounded, all that much. It doesn't feel like any of them are, really add-ons or just thrown in just for, fuck's sake. They all have, backstories, their personalities. Everyone is unique.
Well, there's a couple characters that were thrown in, but they didn't speak. That was just,
The only character I thought was just kind of shoehorned in was just Mimsy.
Yeah, a little bit.
That was very abrupt.
We're just saying something, because there was a few jarring, abrupt moments in the show, and again, that comes down to time constraints, but Mimsy was... that was clearly on purpose.
Yep. But yeah, that's the character, so why don't we move on to the next category, which is my favorite thing to talk about. The music. The songs. So... You saw
my messages I sent you, when I think it was episode 5 and 6 came out, and they didn't immediately release the music, and I was having an aneurysm because I wanted to put them on my phone to listen to them.
You didn't just do it for 5 and 6, you did it for 7 and 8 too.
Yeah, like it's literally like release them at the same time because I have them all on my phone. All 16 songs, and I've been listening to that album.
There are 2 songs for every episode.
Yep. So 16. I've been listening to that album like on repeat for a couple weeks.
And let me if you don't watch the show, at least listen to the songs because every single one of them slaps.
Yeah,
they're all incredible.
The only ones I'm not a huge fan of actually turn out to be like the shorter ones, like Welcome to Heaven, which is literally 61 seconds.
Damn.
Not a giant fan of that one. It's not bad by any means. It's just not my fave.
Right, I get it. That one's kind of a forgettable one for me too.
And It Starts With Sorry, I'm not a huge fan of.
Okay, that one I have to disagree with you. That one actually hit me in the feels a little bit.
Oh, it did with me too. So here's the thing with me: it's hard to sell me on slower paced songs.
Yeah,
I get it. That's just me.
Yeah. So if we were to rank the songs, I would put starting from the bottom. It would have to be Welcome to Heaven.
Mm-hmm.
The finale song. I don't know why. I just never could connect with that one because I just felt like it was just a redone version of the opening.
Which was definitely the goal, but in terms of like what the song, the actual like style was all over the place, and that was clearly what they wanted. But at the same time, to sit down and listen to it, it's like
Bohemian Rhapsody all over again.
Yeah, it can be a little hard to sit down and listen to. I get that.
Yeah. Let's see what else. What would I put above that? I guess I would put what was the song they were singing at the court?
Oh, You Didn't Know?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Because that one was also kind of all over the place too. It was changing in tone constantly, and that's always like I liked the second half, but everything before that's like,
that's fair.
Oh, stop! Why are you changing so much?
That's fair. I definitely listened to it for the back half.
Yes. Hell is forever, then heaven must be a lie.
Oh my! That ending though hit different with Charlie and Emily.
Yeah, that. Oh, sweet. Then I would put Hell is Forever. Actually, I'd put that just above it, but that's because I just hate Adam. But
I love that one because I love singing that one because I can actually match pitch with Adam.
Yeah, not necessarily the person you want to match with, but I get it.
Yeah, well, in terms of like, because I'm not a singer, but like in the car, I like to sing along to songs,
me too.
So I like that one because I can match it.
I'm very much into car karaoke.
Yeah,
and I like to think I'm pretty good at it. But anyway, the first song of the finale, which was basically just a remade version of More Than Anything.
Yeah, that one I was really not a giant. Like,
I know it's a song like talking about like how much Vaggie and Charlie love each other, but it's like that song has already kind of been done.
And it was longer. That version and the finale was 60 seconds.
Yes. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with a short song. It's just that
there's just not much there.
No, there's not much substance. Like you can get that point across through that song in speech.
Yeah, and the original More Than Anything with Lucifer is a full 3 minutes.
Beautiful.
Oh yeah.
So how many songs did I list? I don't fucking know. Then I have to go with Respectless. It's a bop, but I fucking hate Velvet.
Yeah, I kind of like her singing voice though.
Stayed Gone.
Yep. Okay. I love singing that one too because I love doing Alastor's voice.
And you have a kind of radio that was kind of like, around during his time.
Yep.
I remember you showing me pictures of that.
Oh yeah, it's 1950s, 1960s. I love this. Ooh, I still need to fix that.
And then there's Happy Day in Hell.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's a bit too joyful for me.
Yeah, I don't mind it, but I find myself skipping that one.
It's not bad, but it's like,
Yeah.
It's not terrible.
But then again, I prefer the songs that I can sing along to properly, which means I tend to favor the songs with the male singing voices because I can actually match that.
Absolutely. Whatever it takes. I mean, it's no secret what my top favorite song is, though. My top 2 favorites are Poison and Loser Baby. Loser Baby at the very top. It has to be said.
Yeah. I absolutely love singing that. So, I've been listening to Hazbin fan songs for like 2 years at this point.
I listened to Thank You and Good Night recently.
Yeah, that's a phenomenal one.
Yep.
But one of the guys I listen to, Paranoid DJ, does great impressions for basically he sings the voices for all the male characters he does songs for, and he does a phenomenal Angel Dust.
Yep.
So I have kind of practice singing to Angel Dust. So singing Loser Baby, which is literally Husk, which is like super deep, which I can do easily. Yeah. And Angel, which is kind of high pitched and almost nasally, I can kind of pull that off. I love singing that song. I find it very fun to sing.
Plus the line of power bottom at rep bottom. It's for so long.
Especially because in the show, Husk is doing like pelvic thrusts at that point.
Yep. And like the animations for the songs are phenomenal. Oh, I forgot to mention more than anything, like the actual one with Lucifer and Charlie. That's got to be my third pick for like top song.
Now, for me, my top 3.
And it's not just like for the lyrics; it's the actual animation that goes with it.
Oh, the animation is beautiful in that. That's a good song.
Your top 3.
It's definitely going to be Loser Baby's definitely number 1. Poison is number 3 for me because Hell's Great Dad I adore.
Oh yeah, I forgot about. Yeah, that's number 4 for me. I forgot about that one. Oops.
Because I can sing Alastor and Lucifer, and I absolutely love it.
And it starts with Sorry at number 5. I know you rank that really low, but for me, that's a 5. And not that,
no.
It's not that any of these songs really can be rated from good to bad. They're all good. It's just that varying levels of said good.
I will tell you though, Loser Baby is pretty much the fan favorite. If you look at the numbers on Spotify.
Actually, no, it's Out for Love now.
Really?
Out for Love was number 1 for the very longest time.
I mean, I can see that. It's so short though.
It is. But it's so powerful.
It's also...
And also, you got to give credit to Carmilla Carmine's voice actress, because, as you told me, she was like a performer in Broadway.
Yeah, no, she's straight off of Broadway. I don't know specifically what she's been in, because I don't particularly care for, like, Broadway musicals, but Vivsy does, so... She's a good singer, absolutely, hands down.
Yeah.
It's interesting, though. That's one of 2 songs where it was only one person singing them, the other one being Poison with Angel.
Also,
that's interesting, because most...
Side tangent, I'm a bit shocked that his actual name is Anthony. I don't know what I was expecting, but you know what?
Yeah, so I follow a guy who does short little... They're not even animations. He uses still images, but he moves them around. And he's a voice actor. So on YouTube, he does, like, funny little shit posting. Yeah. With the characters he can voice from Hazbin, which is Angel, Alastor... And then he does Arachnus and Baxter, because we still don't know what they sound like yet, so he did his own take for those 2.
Yeah.
So I've seen a lot of, like, him having interactions between Angel Dust and his brother, and I love the dynamic, so I know his name's Anthony. I guess Arachnus is really short, so that's one joke I hear a lot, Angel shitting on his brother for being short. I love that family, though, because I literally have fan-made stuff that has me attached to characters that were on screen for a grand total of maybe 2 seconds.
Maybe, yeah. But yeah, all these songs are bops. If you don't have them on Spotify, Pandora, whatever you listen to, you're doing yourself a disservice. Get them on your playlist now.
Oh, absolutely. I think my only complaint is the way they organize the songs.
Yes. The only complaint I have about the songs is that they just sometimes don't have any build-up. They just come abruptly. Normally with musicals, there's build-up to said song. I think Disney kind of like perfected it with their musicals. Hazbin Hotel, it's very sudden sometimes, very abrupt. Now there are some exceptions. I do think that more than anything, that was built up perfectly.
That was the exact one I was going to say.
Yeah, Respectless, that came out of the blue, but you could use the excuse of like Carmilla's telling Velvet to show some fucking respect. I don't like your tone.
Well, so people have used AI to cut the music out of that scene, so it's just vocals.
Oh, I thought you were about to say people have used AI to make Markiplier and PewDiePie sing.
Nah. Well, they've done that too. But they actually took that scene with Respectless and took the music out of it, so it's just Carmilla and Velvet just singing.
You know what? That's probably how it would go in real life if life was a real musical.
Yeah. And that's what everybody's saying. Like, this is what everybody else hears.
It would be kind of jarring to hear two people just break into song with no music at all.
Yeah, and it definitely really highlights how jarring that scene is, where Carmilla just starts belting out song for kind of no reason.
Yeah, all these songs are incredible. It's some of the best music I've ever heard from any animation.
And I am eternally grateful that they made the correct decision to release them on streaming services the same day.
Yeah.
Or, at all.
I will say, though, none of them will ever top Look My Way by, with Stolas singing.
Yep.
That will never be topped, period. That's in any animation, that is the best song ever.
Well, and the reason for that is the guy I love, Paranoid DJ, actually composed that song, and he did a version where he sang as Stolas. You and I talked about this, and I wasn't a giant fan.
And it became an official music video on Vivzy Pop's channel. It became
with the official voice actor singing it, which I greatly prefer the version with him singing it, because Paranoid DJ does great impersonations. I am not a fan of his Stolas.
And now we have the actual Stolas singing it.
Yep. So you literally got the voice actor who actually is great at singing. All the songs that Stolas has sung are just
I would kill
fire.
A voice like that.
And then you have a literal third-party fan who makes this music for fun, composing a song for that character.
Yeah, and now it's canon.
Which, that's how Addict came to be, too. It was a third party. It was,
And then, I don't know if... Actually, I don't even know if Addict is canon anymore or not.
I hope it is.
Me too. If not,
they really don't go too much in there that can be questioned.
It's a very beautiful song.
Yeah. I'm very glad that one got an animation, because it's a guy named Silvahound who just makes music for Hazbin and Helluva, because that's what he does. He thinks it's fun.
Yeah.
And Vivzy was like, I love it!
Yeah. Now we come on to the story, which is the final category that we're going to be actually grading on.
The thing is, there's a couple factors. I can't give it an A simply because of pacing, and I 100% know.
Well, how about we actually talk about what we liked about the story and what we disliked about it before we actually give a final grade?
Oh, okay. Well,
for me,
clearly.
pacing was an obvious issue. I felt like it moved way too fast.
Well,
it was like the middle half. It was like the middle half of Jurassic World Dominion all over again.
Well, honestly, I feel like you can treat each episode as like there's a month between episodes.
Well, except episode 2, because that's like a week later.
Yeah, but like generally, it's weeks take place between episodes, which was kind of jarring when you realize that.
Yeah, because like in the first episode, you hear that Adam is going to be coming back to Hell after 6 months, so we know there's a deadline. But by episode 8, those 6 months have already flown by.
Well, literally, episode 6, he's like, I'll see you in 1 month. I'm like, well, wait.
What happened to the others?
And
I recently rewatched it, I'm like, oh yeah, they actually do count them down.
So, and the thing with the pacing, I don't think it would be as jarring. I hope they get longer episode run times.
Well, I don't necessarily want longer episodes. I just want, like, more episodes per season. I think that might be a better formula.
One or the other.
Because, like...
Probably.
If there was, like, at least double the episodes in Season 1, I feel like the pacing could have been digestible.
I seriously hope Season 2 is at least 16 episodes.
Too,
I seriously do. Because...
I mean, with all the backing it's gotten after all the episodes have released, there's no doubt in my mind they got to make more episodes so it's better paced.
Well, Amazon Prime, they have a YouTube channel, and they did a poll that I voted in, because it popped
me too.
It Hazbin Hotel. Where it's like, what's your favorite Amazon Prime series? And it's Invincible, Jack Reacher, a fourth one I can't remember, and then Hazbin Hotel.
Hazbin Hotel.
And it's not close.
Has won by a landslide.
And Jack Reacher is a huge Prime show, and as is Invincible, because that's like adult animation superhero crap. I love Invincible. I think it's a great show, but it's wild.
To be sort of like satire on DC Nation.
Yeah, it kind of is. Regardless, the fact that Hazbin Hotel beat him by, and we're talking hundreds of thousands of votes.
Yeah.
It's very telling, and I'm hoping Amazon realizes what a cash cow this can be for them and just dump money into it.
Yeah. But hopefully not to the point where, it just gets too bad.
Yeah, I don't want it bloated,
Because
but
I've seen
they
shows
definitely...
and movies that had, like, so much backing, and to get, like, sequels or additional seasons, like, they got money coming out of their ass. And it just turns into a dumpster fire.
Yeah, I definitely... I don't want Amazon to necessarily enforce a minimum episode count.
Yeah.
I think that would be a mistake, but literally give Vivzy as much freedom as she wants, because,
Exactly.
like, holy crap.
Exactly. But yeah, and the actual story itself, like, the demons gradually, trying to learn to be redeemed.
It was impressive. It was very interesting when they're in heaven and they see Angel in the bar, and I'm like, oh god, Angel's going to embarrass the living crap out of them. He's going to be off the chain.
Because he's done it before.
Yeah. And then he went out and was like a really good guy, and I'm like, dude!
He stood up to his boss.
That was a good...
It started with him taking drugs, but I'm like, oh god, no. And that was my issue with Cherri Bomb. Like, I know she's a friend, but she's being a bad influence on him right now.
And it definitely seemed
because she's not on the path of redemption at that point.
Yeah, and it definitely seems by the finale that she's veering away from that.
Like, she's on board with it.
Which is good, because I like that Angel has, like, a close friend.
And also, not just in Cherri Bomb, but also in Husker.
Oh, absolutely. It was definitely nice after Loser Baby when suddenly Angel realizes, I don't need to act this way at the hotel, because none of them care.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of I'm just going on a side tangent. I feel like a lot of people hate Loser Baby for the wrong reasons. Like saying, that's messed up, you're making jokes about, like, a person that's going through a rough time, and da-da-da-da. Dude, it's a song about sympathy.
Yeah, because he shits on himself as much as he shits on Angel. It's literally like, I know you're being fake, you don't need to be.
Yeah, you can be the real you around me and everyone
That's
else.
literally the whole point.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's not trying to be offensive.
Initially, it's 100% meant to be jarring to Angel in, like, the first few lines.
Yeah, it's a bit jarring. Like, you even hear Angel go, wait, what?
Also, his facial expressions during the first few lines is absolutely hilarious.
The frown on his face where he's like...
It gets really dramatic.
Yeah. But anyway, going back. But yeah, the story overall is okay. They don't really focus much on the hotel, though. That was my complaint about it, now that I've rewatched it 3 times. They don't really focus on the importance of the hotel, just like, oh, we're going to try this exercise. And when it wasn't, it was mostly about, getting ready for heaven to attack.
That's fair. I'm hoping that changes in season 2, because, speaking story-wise, the big reasoning behind that being literally nobody in hell had any interest.
No one. But now people are starting to rally behind it.
Especially because, well, A, they realize that Charlie's kind of a badass.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think anybody ever disputed that Lucifer was a badass, but now he actually cares. I mean, if they literally kicked heaven out of hell, and seemingly stopped the exterminations, it might be worth giving her a chance with what she's selling.
And that's what I'm hoping for season 2, that now that they know that, like, they're not powerless, maybe they'll rally to Charlie's side.
And I definitely think that will happen in greater numbers if... I'm hoping Emily literally is like, hey, your guy's up here with us now.
Yeah, Sir Pentious is here.
Because the second they know that,
the game changes.
Yeah, because then they know that it's possible and it worked. That's a big...
Like, you have to redeem yourself and then die, basically.
Hopefully that's not necessarily the case with everybody, because, like, dude,
yeah, because it's kind of dark. Like, yeah, we want you
not
to
just
fucking
that, like,
die after you get redeemed.
Not just that, what happens if you weren't truly redeemed and then you die and you don't exist?
Yeah, at that point you're fucked. There's no guarantee it works.
I'm hoping that's not the case, because that's just jarring, but clearly it worked with Pentious. I like how he had a redesign too. That was pretty cool.
And if it works on Adam the opposite way, then we know it happens by death.
I really hope it does, because I hated him as a character, because we're supposed to.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to see him not be in season 2.
Yeah, me too. I mean, we want our villains to get a proper comeuppance.
And I'll tell you,
Nifty's kill was not justified. That was not a comeuppance. That was a joke.
Oh god, she literally impales him once, he falls over, and then she goes like
eviscerating his body.
Stab!
And you just see gushes of yellow gold blood pumping out of his body. So
I definitely want to see him.
The story is a bit rushed, I will admit. But with a limit of how many episodes they had and not really knowing the future of this, because you have to bear in mind, it started as an independent pilot. No one knew how successful it was going to be as a full show, I'm imagining. So maybe they didn't want to take that gamble and, just rush out the story. Maybe they could, flesh it out more in a future season if it was successful enough. I think that's why they did the route they did. But it does reflect on the finished product, and that's what I have to grade it for. So it's a good story. It's just very quick. So I have to give it a B+, at least.
That's probably about what I would give it.
Yeah, B+. Characters, solid A. Solid A. All around the board, all really good.
Yeah. And music, I'm definitely going to have to...
That's an A++ there. That's fucking extra credit.
Their music production guy did, I think it's Andrew Underberg and Sam Haft are the two people in charge of the music.
Amazing job.
Yeah. They nailed it.
But that's pretty much our review of Hazbin Hotel. So before we do end it, what do we want to see in season 2 or any future season, to be perfectly honest? What do we want to see?
Well, for starters, if I had to predict who the antagonists were going to be in season 2, I'd have to guess the V's. I have a strong suspicion they're going to be the main baddies in season 2.
We are not done with them yet, and now that they think Alastor's gone.
Yeah, I have a strong feeling it's not going to be heaven that they're fighting as much in season 2, that it's going to be actual overlords in hell.
Yeah, that last song set up a lot of stuff. It also set up like Alastor talking about he wants freedom. Is he using Charlie to get his freedom back? Is that what he wants from Charlie when they made the deal? Like, I won't let you harm anyone, but I want you to get me out of this deal with Lillith.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm very curious how that favor she owes him is going to play out, because that can go a lot of ways.
Maybe the deal is Alastor will make Charlie take his place.
Yeah, it wouldn't necessarily hurt her. She wouldn't be hurt.
Yeah, maybe. But that
could go a lot of ways. I hope in season 2 I get to see Arachnus and Baxter, the other two original Hotel members.
Hell realizes that Pentious is alive and in heaven.
I hope that happens like end of episode 1.
Yeah, straight away.
Because right now they're still so sad that then they lost.
So sad at the end. They were singing.
Oh, and then they also lost Dazzle. I think it was Dazzle.
Oh, yeah. I love their dragon forms. They look so bad. I thought they were just goats, but no, they're dragons.
You see, so I knew that because of the trading cards, but I wasn't going to mention that because it's kind of spoilery.
And also, it was a surprise for me because dragons, aside from dinosaurs, are my obsession.
And they were pretty awesome looking. It was a shame that Dazzle got obliterated.
Yeah, it was so sad. I'm like, no.
I guess Razzle's still kicking.
Yeah.
Yeah, at this point, I also want to see a lot more of Lucifer. I loved that character. I want to see a lot more of him.
Yeah, absolutely. No complaints. No complaints.
Other than that,
I have nothing really much to add on top of that. Except, I would like to see who's the higher power that lets people go to heaven or hell.
Yeah, because interestingly enough, for a show about heaven and hell where we have Lucifer,
there's no mention of God.
Yeah, which is very interesting. It's curious. I'm very curious about the hierarchy of of heaven.
Yeah, we know all about hell. We know about their hierarchy and what's frowned upon.
Yeah, the overlords and the royalty, and yeah.
But we don't know anything about heaven.
Yeah, I'm very curious how that all works, because right now it definitely seems like Sera is more or less the highest angel.
Like, she is a leading authority.
Which is interesting because she doesn't seem to know how anything actually works.
Yeah. Or anything,
So more,
for that matter.
that would be neat.
But yeah, that has been our review of Hazbin Hotel. This was quite fun to geek out about something, that we both really love.
Oh, absolutely.
And I know, again, it must have been shocking for you guys watching this, to watch something that isn't dinosaur related or adjacent. But this is just something that I'm very passionate about, and that's why I started my channel, to share things that I am very passionate about. And if you watch this far, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to listen to us nerd out about an animated adult series on Amazon Prime. It's awesome to have this much support.
And if you haven't watched it, definitely at least give the first episode a watch,
because we just talked about spoilers.
That's fair.
But you know what? Do yourself a service. Watch it again.
Yeah, I definitely plan on it at some point.
3 times. I'm probably gonna watch it again before season 2 comes out.
I keep rewatching the finale because the finale was awesome.
Yeah. But there you have it. Any final words?
No, I don't really have anything.
Alright, then I'm going to wrap it up. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, subscribe today, hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything new. All my links are in the link tree in the description down below. I recently released a project called A Day in Jurassic World. If you haven't seen that, I highly suggest you do. I worked really hard on that, please. I spent a week working on it. And until next time, this is Tyrannosaurus signing off. Alright then, take care now. Bye-bye then.